Everyone thought I was a nobody, a poor girl working 3 jobs, a woman with no family, no background, no future. Then one night, a billionaire collapsed in front of me and whispered, "Don't let them know you are my daughter." I thought he was crazy, until his private jet arrived. The next morning, until the world's richest family started searching for me. Until every powerful person wanted me dead. Because the secret identity I never knew I had was the key to controlling a billion-dollar empire, and the family that abandoned me years ago was the same family that created my fake life. My name is Arya Monroe, and the day I discovered who I really was the day the entire world became my enemy. For 25 years I lived a simple life, at least, that was what I believed. I grew up in a small town far away from the wealthy. Just no mansion, no luxury cars, no famous last name. My mother, Lily Monroe, raised me alone. She worked constantly. She never talked about my father. Whenever I asked, she always gave the same answer: "He is someone you don't need to know." As a child, I thought she hated him. As I grew older, I realized she was afraid of him, not because he was dangerous, because someone else was. My mother was the kindest person I knew, but she lived like someone was watching her. She changed phone numbers every year, we moved often. She never kept photos, never talked about the past. I thought we were just unlucky. I was wrong. The truth was, my mother was hiding me from the most powerful family in the country. The Blackthorne family. Everyone knew their name. Blackthorne Group controlled technology, finance, media, and international investments. The family was so powerful that governments negotiated with them. Their CEO, Damien Blackthorne, was called the Invisible King. Nobody knew what he looked like. Nobody knew his private life. The only thing people knew was that he owned half the world's future, and somehow, I was connected to him, but I didn't know. Not until that night. The night my life changed, I was working at a small restaurant. It was raining heavily, the streets were almost empty. Around midnight, a black luxury car stopped outside. At first I ignored it. Rich people came to the restaurant sometimes, nothing special. Then the door opened, a man stepped out. He looked different from ordinary customers. Expensive suit, cold eyes, but he looked injured. He walked 2 steps, then collapsed. Everyone panicked. I ran toward him. "Sir," he looked at me. And the moment he saw my face, his expression changed, not surprise. Shock, like he had seen a ghost. "Your name?" I frowned. "What?" He grabbed my hand. His voice was weak. "Your name?" "Arya." His eyes became red. "Arya." Then he whispered, "You survived." I froze. "Excuse me." Before I could ask more, he pulled something from his pocket, a small silver pendant. My heart stopped. Because I had the exact same pendant. The one my mother gave me when I was a baby. The man looked at it, then looked at me. "You don't know, do you?" "Know what?" His breathing became weaker. "That Damien Blackthorne is your father." The world went silent. I stepped back. "No," the man looked at me. "You were supposed to inherit everything." I laughed. Because the situation was impossible. My father, the billionaire? Yes, no. I shook my head. My mother said, "She lied." Those words hurt more than I expected because some part of me knew my mother had hidden something. The man grabbed my hand again. "Listen carefully. The Blackthorne family believes you are dead." My blood froze. "What?" "They believe the last heir died 25 years ago. Why?" "Because someone wanted the inheritance." A pause. "And they succeeded." I stared. "What inheritance?" The man looked at me. "The Blackthorne legacy." Before I could ask more, several black cars appeared outside. The man's expression changed. "They found me." "Who?" He looked toward the window. "People who cannot know you exist." The restaurant lights suddenly went out. Everyone screamed. I stood frozen. The man pushed a small device into my hand. "Take this." "What is it?" "Proof." "Proof of what?" He looked at me. "Proof that you are the real Blackthorne heir." Then he said something that changed everything. "Do not trust Damien Blackthorne." I froze. But he is my father. The man smiled sadly. That is exactly why. The doors opened, several people entered. Security, not police. Private agents. The injured man disappeared through the back door, and I was left standing there holding a secret. The next morning, my face was everywhere. No, TAEVREWOMAN MYSTERLLCATTEE. Froze. Yes, you need to leave the city. Who are you? A pause. Then, someone trying to keep you alive. I laughed. Everyone suddenly wants to save me. Silence. Then the man said, your mother never told you the truth. My hand tightened. How do you know my mother? 'Cause I was there the night she stole you. My heart stopped. What? The voice continued. Your mother did not run away with you, she rescued you. From who? The answer came quietly, from your father. The call ended. I stood there, completely confused. One person said Damien Blackthorne was my father, another said my mother saved me from him. Everyone had a different story, but one thing was clear, my entire life was built on a lie. That evening, a black helicopter landed near my apartment. A man stepped out, tall, cold, perfect suit, the entire world knew him. Blackthorne, the billionaire CEO, my supposed father. He looked at me for a long time, then he said, Arya, I couldn't move, because his eyes looked exactly like mine. He walked closer. I finally found you. I wanted answers. I wanted to hate him, but then he said, I spent 25 years believing my daughter was dead. My heart shook. Then why did someone tell me not to trust you? Damien became silent, a dangerous silence. Finally, he whispered, because the person who destroyed your life was someone inside my family. The helicopter behind him suddenly exploded. Everyone screamed. Damien immediately pulled me down. The explosion shook the ground. Smoke covered everything. I looked at him, the billionaire, CEO, the stranger who might be my father, the man everyone feared, and for the first time, I saw something in his eyes. Fear, not for himself, for me. He whispered, they know you're alive. A pause. And now, they will come for you. I looked at the burning helicopter, then at Damien. Who are they? He stared into the darkness. The people who stole your identity. The night became silent. Then, Damien said the words that changed my life forever. Arya, you are not the missing daughter of the Blackthorne family. You are the reason the Blackthorne family exists. Damien Blackthorne's words stayed in my mind. You are the reason the Blackthorne family exists. I wanted to ask what that meant. I wanted answers, but before I could speak, the sound of approaching vehicles interrupted us. Black cars surrounded the street, not one, not two. At least 10. Damien's expression changed instantly. The cold billionaire disappeared. The man standing beside me became someone who knew exactly how dangerous the situation was. Get inside, I stared at him. Inside where? My car, I laughed. You think I'm going to trust you? His eyes met mine. For a second, neither of us moved. Then he said something unexpected. You shouldn't. I froze. What? You are right not to trust me. He looked at the people approaching. Your whole life, people made decisions for you. My family. Your mother. Even me. A pause. I won't make that mistake. That answer surprised me. Because powerful people usually demanded obedience. Damien didn't. He gave me a choice. Then tell me the truth. His expression became complicated. The truth is worse than you think. Try me. For the first time, Damien looked at me like I was not a child, like I was an equal. You were not hidden because you were weak. You were hidden because you were powerful. I frowned. I'm just a Rhea Monroe, no. He shook his head. That identity was created. My heart sank. What do you mean? Arya Monroe never existed before your mother needed her. The words felt like a knife. My entire life, my name, my records, my memories. All fake, Damien? Shh. Open the car door, come with me. Where? To the place where your real life started. I should have refused. Every instinct told me to run, but something inside me knew one thing. Running was the reason I had spent 25 years living someone else's life, so I entered the car. The moment we drove away, my old world disappeared. The apartment, the restaurant, the ordinary life. Everything I knew became a question. The car traveled toward the Blackthorn private estate. I had seen it online. Everyone called it the Blackthorn Fortress, where only the richest people entered. But when I arrived, I noticed something strange. There were no family portraits, no luxury decorations, no signs of celebration. The mansion felt empty, like a company office, not a home. I looked at Damien. You live here? Yes. Alone? Yes. I almost laughed. The richest man in the world lives alone. His expression didn't change. The richest people are usually the loneliest. That sentence sounded too personal. Before I could respond, the mansion doors opened. An elderly man appeared. The moment he saw me, he dropped the documents in his hands. No. Damien looked at him. Thomas. The old man walked closer slowly, his eyes filled with tears. Is it really her? Damien nodded. Yes. Thomas looked at me. The little girl from 25 years ago. I stepped back. Who are you? He lowered his head. I was your father's assistant. Your father searched for you every day. I looked at Damien. Then why didn't he find me? Silence. Thomas looked away, because that question had an ugly answer. Finally, Damien spoke. Because someone inside the family blocked every search. Who? Nobody answered. I looked around. Everyone knew, but nobody wanted to say. Then the mansion security system activated. A message appeared. Unknown device detected. Location, legacy room. Damien's face changed. That's impossible. What? The legacy room has never been opened. I looked at him. Why? Because only one person can open it. My expression changed. Me? Damien didn't answer. That was enough. We walked toward the hidden room. The door had no handle, no lock, only a black screen. Thomas whispered, the founder created this system, your grandfather. I frowned. My grandfather? Damien nodded. Before Blackthorn Group became an empire, there was another organization. What organization? The Blackthorn Foundation. That sounds normal. It wasn't. Damien looked at the door. It controlled information. Not money. Not companies. Information. I didn't understand. Then he continued, the person who controls information controls everything. The door suddenly activated. A voice appeared. Identity verification required. A light scanned me. Then, man, ATCH, found. Ariel Blackthorn. I froze. Not Aria Monroe. Ariel Blackthorn, my real name. The door opened. Inside was not gold. Not money. Not jewelry. It was a room filled with thousands of files. My entire family history. My entire identity. Damien entered behind me. I never saw this room open. I walked toward the nearest file. My name, close written on it. Ariel Blackthorn, birth record, inheritance status, primary here. I opened it. The first page made my blood freeze. It was a contract. Signed by my grandfather. A document that explained the Blackthorn inheritance. But there was one shocking line. The DAC, Belif, AKTH, Orn, Empire, will be transferred to the child who possesses the original bloodline and the original memory. I frowned. Original memory? Damien looked confused. What? I turned the page. There was another file. Maymar. My hands became cold. What is this? Damien grabbed the file. His expression changed. No. What? He read the information again, then looked at me. Someone altered your memories. The room became silent. I laughed. No. Yes. People cannot just delete memories. Damien looked at the documents. They can if they have enough power. I stared. So my mother. She didn't just hide you. A pause. She helped someone erase part of your identity. My chest tightened. The woman who raised me, the woman who protected me, the woman I trusted. Could she really have done that? Suddenly, another file fell from the shelf, a small envelope. My name was written on it. Not Ariel, not Aria, a child's handwriting. I opened it. Inside was a letter. The first sentence destroyed everything I believed. Dear future me. If you are reading this, it means they succeeded. My hands trembled. Continued. I know you don't remember what happened. But I do. I remember who tried to kill us. I remember why Mother took me away. And I remember the person who betrayed our family. I stopped breathing. Because the letter was written by me, a child version of me. At the bottom was a final sentence. The enemy is not outside the Blackthorn family. The enemy is the person who taught me how to forget. Behind me, Damien suddenly received a message. His face changed. What happened? He showed me the phone, a photo, a person standing outside the estate. Watching us. The person was wearing a black coat. And I recognized the face, because I had seen it before. In my childhood memories, a memory that suddenly returned. A man smiling, a man holding my hand. A man saying, "Don't worry, little Ariel. Soon, everyone will forget you." Damien looked at me. Who is he? I stared at the photo. My voice became cold. He is the man who raised me. The room went silent, because the person who stole my identity was not a stranger. It was the person I called family. The moment I said those words, nobody spoke, not Damien, not Thomas, not even me, because the truth sounded impossible. The person who stole my identity was the person who raised me. My whole life flashed through my mind, the small apartment, the cheap dinners, the nights my mother cried quietly, the man who appeared only a few times. When I was young, the man I thought was just my mother's old friend. His name was Daniel Monroe. The man I called uncle, the man who taught me how to read. The man who told me I was ordinary. I stared at the photo. No, Damien looked at me. You know him. I nodded slowly. He was always around. How? I don't know. My voice became quieter, but my mother trusted him. Thomas stepped closer. Daniel Monroe. The way he said the name made me look at him. You know him? Thomas's expression was serious. Everyone in the old Blackthorn circle knew him. Who was he? Thomas hesitated, then answered, the man who should have inherited everything before you were born. The room became colder. I looked at Damien. What does that mean? Damien took the photo. His eyes narrowed. Daniel Vale Monroe. I froze. Vale? Yes, not just Monroe. He looked at me. Daniel was born into the Vale family. The name sounded familiar. Jonathan Vale, the powerful businessman, the man who appeared in the news. The man who seemed connected to every secret, another wealthy family, another hidden connection. I stepped back. So the person who raised me was connected to the people who wanted you gone, Damien finished. I felt something break inside. Because anger was easier when the enemy was a stranger, but when the enemy was someone who held your hand as a child, it became something else, a betrayal too deep to explain. The legacy, room screens activated. A new file opened. Daniel Von Monroe. STTS. Former Blackthorn successor candidate. Falden, Key, was a successor candidate, M. Father considered several people. Daniel was one of them. Then why wasn't he chosen? Damien looked at me. Because your grandfather believed Daniel wanted power more than he wanted a family. I laughed bitterly. So he waited 25 years, yes, to take it. Damien looked, churry, at the screen. Maybe. I noticed his hesitation. What? There is something wrong. What? If Daniel wanted the inheritance? He pointed at the file. He could have attacked me. He could have taken control of Blackthorn Group years ago. But he didn't. I frowned. Then what was he doing? Nobody answered, because that question was more terrifying. Maybe Daniel didn't want the company. Maybe he wanted something else. Suddenly another file appeared. ACECSSM. MENEAM. Him. The room darkened. Then a video appeared. A little girl appeared on the screen. Me. 6 years old. I stopped breathing, because I had no memory of this. The child version of me was sitting in a room. Daniel was beside me, but he looked different, not kind, not gentle, cold. The little girl was crying. "Where is my mother?" Daniel smiled. "She left." "No, she loves me." Daniel leaned closer. "She loved the old you." The little girl looked confused. "What does that mean?" Daniel placed a document in front of her. "Ariel, you cannot continue being Ariel. You need a new." The child shook her head. "I don't want a new life." Daniel smiled. "You don't have a choice." The video paused. I couldn't move, because I remembered. Not everything, just pieces. A room, a locked door, a woman crying, my mother screaming, "Don't touch my daughter." Then a loud sound. And darkness. The video continued. Daniel looked into the camera, not at the child. At whoever was watching, he said, "The Blackthorn heir will disappear, not because I killed her, because I will make the world believe she never existed." The screen went black. Nobody spoke. My hands were shaking. Damien stepped closer. "Arya." I looked at him. "No." My voice was cold. "Don't call me that." He stopped. Because he understood. For 25 years that name protected me, but now it felt like a cage. "My name is Ariel Blackthorn." The system reacted instantly. "Tidinitup, my DEFENM, everyone froze. Even Damien. The legacy room changed. A new message appeared. PRMIRYHEIRAWAKEND, then another. My white, recovery may cause instability. Happen. What? He left a warning. Damien searched the files, then found it. A handwritten note, my grandfather's handwriting. If Ariel remembers everything too quickly, her emotions may become the weapon against her. I stared. "What does that mean?" Damien answered quietly. "It means someone might have designed your memories to break you." I looked at the screen. The truth was coming back, but every answer created another question. Why did Daniel raise me? Why did my mother allow it? Why did my father fail to protect me? And why did everyone fear the memory of a 6-year-old girl? Then my phone rang. "Unknown number," I answered. Nobody spoke for several seconds. Then a familiar voice came. "Ariel." My blood froze. Daniel, the man who raised me. The man who erased me. "You've finally remembered." My grip tightened. "Where are you?" Laughed softly, still asking the wrong question. What question should I ask? "Why did your mother choose me?" I froze, because that was impossible. My mother hated Daniel, or at least, I thought she did. Daniel continued. "She never told you, did she?" "Told me what?" "That I was the one who saved you." Silence. Damien immediately looked at me. Daniel's voice became lower. "Your father wanted to sacrifice you to protect the Empire. That's a lie, is it?" He laughed. "Ask Damien." I looked at Damien. His expression changed, and that tiny reaction terrified me, because it meant Daniel knew something. Something Damien didn't want me to know. Daniel whispered, "Your entire family built their empire on one decision." "Which decision?" A pause. "The decision to use you." The call ended. The legacy room went silent. Then a new file appeared. PROJGCT, Ariel. Classification, Affily, Secret, Status Active. And underneath, a sentence appeared. Thatch, the target, the HEIR was the key. The words on the screen burned into my mind. The HR was the key. I stared at those words for a long time, because suddenly, everything felt different. All my life I believed someone wanted to destroy me, erase me, replace me. But what if that was never the real goal? What if everyone was fighting over something inside me? Something I didn't even know existed. Damien noticed my silence. "Ariel." I looked at him. "Tell me the truth." His expression tightened. "I have." "No." I shook my head. "You have told me pieces. You gave me enough information to survive, but not enough to understand." Damien looked away. That reaction was an answer. He was hiding something. Again I laughed quietly. "Funny." "What?" "Everyone says they are protecting me." I looked at the room full of secrets, but somehow, protection always looks exactly like a lie. Nobody responded. Because nobody could argue. Thomas lowered his head. You have every right to hate us. I looked at him. Do I? The old man froze. Because I don't even know who deserves my anger anymore, I pointed at the files. My father, my mother, Daniel, Damien, everyone knew something. Everyone made choices, and I was the only person who had no choice. The room became silent. Then Damien walked toward the main computer. You're right. Everyone looked at him. He continued, you deserve the complete truth. He entered a hidden command. Access, Blackthorn Origin Archive. The screen changed. A warning appeared. Will reveal. Family Effelben data secrets. Damien pressed confirm. A new file appeared. Project 25 years. Project 25 years ago. I stepped closer. The first document opened, and my entire understanding of my family collapsed. Project Ariel was not a kidnapping plan, not a chaplain protection plan. It was an inheritance plan, a plan created before I was born. My grandfather had written, the world is entering a new era. Traditional wealth will disappear. The family that controls knowledge will control the future. I frowned. Knowledge again, the Blackthorn Foundation, the information network, the legacy vault, everything connected. The next line appeared, the heir must possess three things, blood, intelligence, and emotional independence. I stared. Emotional independence, Damien explained quietly. Your grandfather believed powerful families created weak heirs. I looked at him. Because they gave them everything. Yes, he believed someone who never struggled could never protect an empire. I looked at the screen. So he chose me because I was poor. No, Damien shook his head. He chose you because you refused to depend on power. That sentence hit me, because my entire life, I thought being ordinary was my weakness. Maybe it was the reason I survived. Then another document opened. Age CIR development record. Age 5, exceptional memory. Age 8, high pattern recognition. Age 12, advanced strategic thinking. Age 15, emotional resistance training. I stopped. What? Damien looked at me. What is it? I pointed. Emotional resistance training. I felt a strange pressure in my head. A memory appeared, a room, a woman, a voice, again, a younger me, sitting at a table, a woman showing me pictures. Who is lying? The child version of me answered, that one. Why? Because his eyes moved before he answered. The memory disappeared. I grabbed the table. Damien immediately supported me. What happened? I pulled away. I remember. Something. Everyone became alert. What? I looked at the screen. I was trained. Silence. Not by Daniel, not by my mother, by my family. My own family. Thomas looked shocked. That should be impossible. No, I looked at him. It happened. Damien's face became complicated. My father, your father knew. The answer came from the doorway. Everyone turned. Elizabeth stood there, my mother. She looked exhausted, but she no longer looked like someone hiding. She looked like someone carrying a burden too heavy for too long. You knew. I stared at her. You knew they were training me. Elizabeth closed her eyes. Yes, my chest tightened. And you let them? No. Her answer came immediately. I tried to stop it, then why? Because I was too late. She walked into the room. By the time I discovered what your grandfather had planned, you were already part of the system. I looked at her. What system? She looked at the screen. The Blackthorn legacy system. A pause. It was not designed to choose an heir. It was designed to create one. My expression changed. That sounds worse. It was. Elizabeth looked at me. Your grandfather believed the perfect successor could not be born, so he created conditions, pressure, isolation, loss. My voice became cold. You destroyed my life to make me stronger. Elizabeth's eyes filled with tears. No. She shook her head. I destroyed my own life trying to stop them from destroying yours. I looked at her. Then explain, Daniel. Silence. That name changed everything. Elizabeth looked away, and that was enough. You trusted him. No, she whispered. I used him. Everyone froze. I stared. What? Elizabeth continued. Daniel was assigned by the Vale family to monitor the Blackthorn heir. He was supposed to report your weaknesses, but he changed. I frowned. He cared about me. Elizabeth looked at me. That is what made everything complicated. A bitter smile appeared. Daniel was a villain. But he was also the only person who understood what they were doing to you. I didn't know what to feel. Hate, confusion, betrayal. Nothing made sense anymore. Then the mansion alarms activated, not normal alarms. Emergency alarms. Damien looked at the screen. His expression changed. What happened? The circle, the room froze. Thomas whispered, "They found us." A message appeared. Bellak Chorn Estate COMIs. External forces entering. Time until arrival, 8 minutes. Damien immediately moved. Everyone leaves now. I looked at him. No, he stopped. This is my fight. No. I stepped toward the screen. This, Daz, the first time my entire life has been my choice. Damien stared at me. I continued. For 25 years, everyone decided what happened to me. My father, my mother, Daniel, the circle. A pause. Not anymore. The security doors opened. Outside, dozens of vehicles surrounded the estate. A person stepped out. The cameras zoomed in, and everyone recognized him. Jonathan Vale. But he was not alone. Standing beside him was another person. A woman. An older woman. Someone Damien recognized immediately. His face changed. No, I looked at him. Who is she? Damien whispered, my mother. Silence. Then the camera showed her face, and I realized something. The person leading the attack was not trying to steal the Blackthorn Empire. She was trying to reclaim something. Because the woman looked directly into the camera and said, Ariel Blackthorn, you finally woke up. A pause. Now return what belongs to me. The screen changed. A new identity appeared. Margaret Blackthorn, the original heir of the Blackthorn family.